रङ्गैस्तुष्टभागं स्वस्तनोभिः व्यसेम देवहितै यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्ताख्यो हरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति न बृहस्पतिर्ददातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ अग्नेनय सुपताराये अस्मान् विश्वानि देवभयुनानि विद्वान् युयोध्यस्मज्जुहुराणमेन भो इष्टां ते नम भुक्तिं विदेम ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ ब्रह्मन् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मवर्चसी जायताम् आराष्ट्रे राजन्यः शूरैषभ्यो अतिव्याधि महारथो जायताम् दोग्ध्रीं धेनुर्वोढान् नड्वान् आसु सप्तिः पुरन्धिर्योषा जिष्णो रतेष्ठाः सभेयो युवा अस्य यजमानस्य वीरो जायताम् निकामे निकामेन पर्जन्यो न वर्षतु फलवत्यो न वोषधयः पच्यन्तां योगक्षेमो न कल्पेताम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणचक्षुः स्तोत्रमतो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वो ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणम् अस्तु निराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मन निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तो ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम नमस्ते.
Thank you very much. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So, today we are having the Taittiriya Samhita. In that we are going through the formulas or yajus meant for the Agnistoma Yajna from Taittiriya Samhita. And in the first Kanda and up to 3 Prapatakas, we have noted the mantras and also the rites that would go in the Agnistoma Yajna, and we have tried to prepare enough and collected or bought the Somavalli carts, load of them. We just established the Yupa, and the animal also has been brought, and so all that has taken place up till now. Now, today we are just to begin with the 4th Kandika of the fourth Prapataka of first Kanda and mantras. So here, this is what we call it as the Sutyadina. So ultimately, the day has reached where they will try to press soma, prepare cauldrons of soma rasa with all ingredients and all that. This is a formula how you can prepare soma rasa by pounding the soma leaves, and also using the grava stones. They are called the gravas and grava. And moreover, we have also noted that anything that is being employed in a yajna complex, that all becomes a deity or devata swarupas. Actually, all manavas are gods and all gods are manavas. That kind of identity is there. But so here also, whenever we take into account, take into use the sacrificial substances or sambharas, all of them are God. So hitherto I have not read out, made a prayer for the Yajurveda Purusha as such. So today I found the place. Of course, I have also written that all the Veda Purushas are having the animal heads and human body. And so Yajurveda Purusha is having the head of a goat. He has got in his hands four hands. In his hands, one hand, he has got the Akshamala, and other hand, he has got that Kulisa, and Kulisa is the Vajrayuda. That is, through Yajna, you can make Raksha Samhara. At the same time, you can uphold Dharma. You can, at the same time, people can reach up heaven and other comforts afterwards. So, Swargakamo Yajeta. So, you perform yajnas in order to get a betterment in life. Because this life upon the earth is always prone for two things. That is Dvandvam. So, you are always contrasting two things. This or that, Punyam, Papa, Sukha, Kam, Sita, Ushna. Like that, we have the two things. Therefore, the attempt to go beyond the two things and become merged into one thing, that is the only yajna. That's why we say yajnena yajnam ayajanta devaha tani dharmani pradhamani asan tehanakam sachante yat purve sadhyaha santi devaha. This is a most beautiful mantra that you come across in the Purusha Suktam, where a promise has been given that either be a gods or men or rakshasas or anybody, if at all they want to increase their eminence, it is imminent that they should perform yajna. Because yajna means the involvement of the gods are there, and they are all different powers. For a Kshatriya, Yuddha is also yajna, for Yuddha yajna. So in the Yuddha yajna, there should be also the divine grace on favor of the victor. So for example, in Rama Ravana Yuddha, Ravana is a Rakshasa. Rama is only human being. Maybe he never remembers that he is Vishnu, and he never does any miracles. He just works like a human being and suffers like a human being and thinks like a human being and faces all difficulties that a human being could do. Thereby, you see, Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha, or Rama is a Dharmakya Vigraha. So, like that, he has got. But ultimately, you see, Ravana became a tough demon. Yeah, that is called a Gordian knot, a tough nut to crack. Then the Munis who are watching realized that now Rama is perplexed, sitting alone, how to kill the Ravanasura, Yuddha Parisrantam Samare Chintaya Stitam. So a hero, a noble hero, if he is being gripped by Chinta, that is not congenial. So Agastya, all gods came, they introduced Ravi Mantram, and Ravi also became a participant, declaring that you go ahead. So you have this beautiful picture of Yajurveda where you see this is the Yajurveda Purusha, and next to that is called Yajurveda Siksha Devata, and there and up you have got the Yajnavalkya Maharshi, and going in the Surya Bhagavan going in a chariot. He has 7 horses, 1 wheel, and 1 axle, and Surya is enjoying that. So this is a typical picture that you should remember, and we have actually printed this also in one of the volumes of Veda Ganga. This is the Sukla Yajurveda thing. So this Yajurveda Purusha is having the Ajasya. Aja is the vehicle for Agni, and Agni is a Sarvabhakshakaha, and Agni Kamaya Emire. So you make praise and make prayers and make petitions or appeals to Agni for the fulfillment of the desires. Secondly, he is always well decked, and he is having the saffron robes. That's why you observe people who ever come forward to perform, they wear Pitavarna dress, or otherwise so white and other color. So Pitavarna, and Akshasutra Dukku, he is wearing the rosary or Akshamala, and that's also very significant. And he has got Kulishipani. Kulisa is the Vajrayudha. So Vajrayudha is the top, king of all Ayudhas. And that Vajrayudha is in the hands of Indra, with which he was able to destroy the toughest demon Vrutrasura. So Yajna, indicatively, Yajna is a means through which you can achieve any and everything. Yajnena siddhyanti karyani. Prayatnena siddhyanti karyani namanorodhayi. Unless you make effort. So thereby, Kulisa is that you can get rid of any kind of problem and get some solace and success. So Kulisa, and ultimately, what does Yajurveda do for us is Bhuti and Mangala. After all, people living upon the earth must have wealth, and whatever wealth they have got, Arogyam is a wealth, and Dharmacharana is wealth, etc. That must always be congenial and must bring prosperity and auspicious to them. So that wealth which is a nuisance to us is no wealth at all. Now, so that's, and moreover, wealth is not constant. The other day, tomorrow, we are going to see through for the Peppalad Maharshi telling that prana or ayuhu or yajna is like Surya Bhagavan, and the other one is Chandra, because Surya and Chandra, they are the luminaries who provide light and luster and prosperity and change in time and all that upon the earth. So Chandra is Rayi and Surya is Ayu and Prana, or so Yajna is Surya Bhagavan, and that's what we can see that. So here you observe that yajnas we perform. Without performing yajna, you cannot have. That's why the gods also, when their punyam is over in the Swargaloka, they have to come back, perform homa, because Bhuloka is said to be the yajna bhumi. And more so, people consider Bharat is yajna bhumi. All other countries are there. Maybe they are doing yajnas, but what yajna done in the Bharat, that is really remarkable, real, and all that. In fact, a great scholar, a foreigner by name Stahl and other foreigners, they came to Pune and also Kerala to brought the American dollars, money, to perform Soma Yaga, Rajasuya Yaga, Soma Yaga especially, and also the Vajapeya. In Pune, they performed Vajapeya Yaga, and in Kerala, one of the villages, they performed the Agnichayana sacrifice. That is Arunaketuka Agnichayana sacrifice. And in 1975 or around that time, in Illustrated Weekly all over, and ultimately to prove the validity and certainty and truthfulness, when once the Purnahuti was done and the yajna was taken place for 21 days, and at the end, actually the whole show is that they have to build the yajna Vedi in falcon shape, Garuda, Suparnosi Garutman. So in Suparna shape, the Vedi is being built with number of ishtakas or bricks and all that. So then once that Purnahuti is over, suddenly a Garuda came and flied over the Vedi and all that. That's what people reported then at that time. Secondly, there will be good indication of Mangala Pradaha. So whatever that is Mangala, that is being provided. So this is what is the importance of the importance and need to perform yajna. So in this, all yajnas have got the characteristic that of Soma yajna. So Soma yajna happens to be in one manner or the other. The intervening yajna or right in all other sacrifices. So in Yajurveda, you come across there are 12 sacrifices, major sacrifices, and large number of auxiliary rites. Thereby, the sacrifices, when people do it, and all of them has got beautiful uh, effect. Therefore, yagnam and yagnam. Yagna is the tool, yagna is the goal, and in between we have got the intervention of the so many people. That's why yagna is otherwise described as the sambhuya samuthana, as our professor Dr. Shinde was telling. It is samuthana, upliftment, wherein there is a cooperation of manpower, money power, God power, and all powers are joined, conjoined, and see that yajna becomes successful, and yajna phala will be shared to one and all. And yajamana, the sacrificer, is one. So now we have come into the Taittiriya Samhita understanding formulas to a stage when they have to press soma with stones and prepare cauldrons of soma rasa, which will be again distributed into various cups. They are called grahas, and each cup is marked for respective gods. So in this particular section, you observe there are more than 30 and 34 god deities who have been invited, and we have been praised, and we have been appeased, and accept the graha, or accept the soma rasa. Therefore, somapaha, the gods love most the soma, and after the yajna, whatever remnants of soma rasa is there, that the participants will distribute themselves probably as a part of prasadam. And you see, those people who perform soma yaga, they are soma yajis. And those people who drink soma rasa in the context of the yajna as a part of prasadam, they are called somapaha. And again, people are distinguished between two ways: somapaha, asomapaha. So those who have drunk sobarasa, and those who could not do it. So and similarly, there is always the division of people upon the earth. ఈ భూలోకం లోపల అందరినీ కూడా డివైడ్ చేశారు. Because everywhere you see there is the division. In fact, the Britishers also followed the formula of divide and rule policy. So if you divide and rule, they will be successful. If you are united ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So like that, the entire soma rasa is being primarily divided as soma cups or libations to various gods, and each formula has got the rushi and devata, and the respective god is invited to come and accept it. Because ಈ ಸೋಮ ರಸ ವನ್ನು ಆಫರ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ the gods become immensely pleased. In fact, Indra is the top deity, and when he was to go to fight with Rudrasura, he must want extraordinary energy to be able to stand before that Rudrasura and fight for a long time, 9 days and nights, I think so. So there was that long drawn fighting, day and night. So the gods, they're suras, therefore they may get exhausted. Rakshasas, they not. But still, Indra, with the power endowed by all other gods and cooperation rendered by them, and also the Vajrayudha which has been given to him, that Vajrayudha is being used. That's why the Indra is supposed to be the best person. Now I go to the formula exact text, so that actually last session we have started and we just read the portion, and today again we read and then try to note down the meaning. And there is when yajna takes place, there are so many people who will attend the yajna, because when Rajasuya Yaga and all that, any yajna, because it is not necessary that you should be a Rutvik. At least yajna is taken as a part of entertainment. Yajna to observe, to participate, to be present when yajna is taking place itself is called as vinoda. Because ಆ ಯಜ್ಞದಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಆನ್ಸಲರಿ ರೈಟ್ಸು will be very interesting for us, and they are all highly symbolic and esoteric and also atharvanic, magical. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೋಡೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಟು ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್. ಸೊ ನಾಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ದಿ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 1411. That is first Prathama Khanda. Because Yajurveda, this particular text has got 7 khandas and 12 sacrifices also and many auxiliary rites. And another interesting thing about Yajurveda, Krishna Yajurveda, is there are more optional rites, and which Yajurveda, which Rigveda, I mean, which Shukla Yajurveda won't have much. Therefore, Shukla Yajurveda is more and more on model of Rigveda. But Krishna Yajurveda is of its own model. Therefore, actually, Krishna Yajurveda is available to us in more than 98 recensions. Actually, 108 recensions are there of Yajurveda, or shakhas are there originally, as we get to know from the commentaries. But unfortunately, our Bharat has been a place of attack, invasions took place, and a lot of Kalantara. In the Kalantara, we have lost actually 92 and 16 are the recensions of the Yajurveda. So out of 92 recensions of Krishna Yajurveda, only 4 are available. Maitrayani and this Taittiriya, Kapisthala Samhita, Kapisthala Kata Samhita. So these are, and the other 2, Maitrayani is almost available in full, but the Taittiriya Samhita in full, while the other 2 are available in broken status. Anyway, that is the only richness that we have got regarding the Krishna Yajurveda wealth. While even Shukla Yajurveda also, though there are 16 recensions of Shukla Yajurveda, we have only 2 recensions of them. However, we notice that what Veda portion last is nowhere comparable to what Veda portion now we are having in print also, which means that we are great losers. But if at all you want to note down the extent of the Veda, the Rudram, for example, in all the 6 recensions, Rudram is found. Then when we conducted a seminar whole day in the Ragigudda Anjaneya Swami Temple, Bangalore, in the Kuchala Rangasthalam, day long from morning to evening, and with all lunch and all that. So there came several people talking about the Rudra and Namak Chamakas and all that. One of the persons who was a professor in Benares Indian University, and he collected all the 6 Shatarudriya, we call it, all the versions of the Namakam or Rudram as found in the available recensions of the Yajurveda. And a kind of contrast and comparison was also being described, and some portion we could publish in our Veda Ganga volumes previous. So why I am telling is that this the Yajurveda is Bahulyata is there. Even in respect of Rigveda, there are 5 recensions of the Rigveda, but we have only 1.5 recension of the Rigveda available. In Samaveda, only available, I mean, also a few recensions are there, Samapatha, and in Atharveda also there are several. Actually, the names of Atharveda itself is a big issue and subject, and Professor Devasthali, G.V. Devasthali of Pune, he made a wonderful article or published in the Indian Antiquary about the names of Atharveda. So like that, this is the kind of sketch of the Vedic studies and Vedic research which we should note when we are sitting before the table of Yajurveda study. Now the mantra reads like that. Already Sivalinga has repeated, so I just read the mantra or recite the mantra and try to explain to you. So to begin with the Soma Abhishava day, the good day where we press the Soma, first of all you have to revere the stones. They are called grava. So the grava has got to be taken and made prayer to that. Aya, oh you pressing stones, we take you and use you to prepare or rather pound the Somavalli, and therefore, and why at all the stones are being used? Because they are, the Somarasa is being prepared for the purpose of giving food for the gods. See, actually, we have to, they are called Deva Bhagaha. So, if you say that Swaha, then they accept it. Agnaye Swaha, Agnaye idam namama, Chandraya Swaha, Chandraya idam namama. So, idam na ma ma ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡಿಸೋನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೈಮಿಂಗ್. ಆವಾಗ ಚಂದ್ರಾಯ ಸ್ವಾಹ ಅಂದರೆ ಚಂದ್ರ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರೆಡಿ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಕಪ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ಆಫರಿಂಗ್. And idam namama andre, I'm no more going to claim that back from you, sir. You can, it is your cup, you can take it. So if that kind of confirmation are given, then only the gods will accept. Therefore, not ardha manassu, ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಆಹುತಿಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿ ದೇವರ ನೈವೇದ್ಯ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಇನ್ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಸ್, ಸಿ they must cook in the kitchen all the menu with an intention, it is for the sake of God. Madarthe. So, not for themselves. Ye bhunjanti papmanaha, te pachanti atmanaha anta, papmanaha. So, for their sake, enjoyment, or for their sake, cooking, they are all called sinners. Krishna becomes angry to those people who never think of him while doing these sacred acts. So that's why here, Om Adade Adade Grava Asya Adhvara Kruto Devebhyo Gambhiram Imam Adhvaram Krudhi Uttamenam Pavina Indraya Somagum Sushutam Madhumantam Payaswantam Vrishtivanim Indrayatva Rudraghna Indrayatva Rudratura Indrayatva Abhimatighna Indrayatva Adityavata Indrayatva Viswadevya Devyavata Swatraha Stha Vrutraturo Radho Gurtaha Amrutasya Patnihi Ta Devihi Devatremam Yagnam Dhatta Upahutaha Somasya Pibata Upahuto Yushmakam Somaha Pibatu. Look at it, as we are reading this particular mantra, formula or edges, how much culture is there. That's what is Yajurveda culture. Actually, people write articles investigating the culture from Rigveda, Rigvedic culture, culture from the Yajurveda mantras, culture from the Samaveda, and culture from the Atharvaveda. So when you look at that kind of excellence, the way how you invite the gods, the way how you request them to accept whatever you are going to offer, and the way you are also telling what is that God known for, and how much benefit he will do for the humanity or for people or for the sacrificer and his retinue of people, and so on. So there is a multitudinous information or multifaceted personal information also is there whenever you think of that. That's why Yajurveda agli, Rigveda agli, all mantras are high vibrant energies. No mantra, that's why it is said every akshara is a mantra. Mantra means what? Manana. Mananat mantraha. Mananat rayata iti mantraha. Those people who keep on rechewing and reflecting deeply, deeper, to them, newer shades of meaning and messages would be coming to them. That's why we have got a number of commentators and scholars on Veda, and that's why it is called as Veda Prakasha. See, Veda Prakasha is the most important thing, and that has started with Sayanacharya of 13th or 12th, 13th century or so. That's why all Europeans acknowledge with Sayanacharya is like the ladder to climb into the heights of sense and significance and other esoteric meaning, etc., of the mantras of Rigveda. As it is, when we read the mantras, they pose challenge to you to understand. Actually, the understanding of the mantras from academic point of view, from scientific point of view, from other aspects of anthropological, astrological, Vastu forums. So actually we have got a yogic forum. So many branches of learning are there. So accordingly, and moreover, you see the vocabulary is so universal that according as the eye you are looking with, accordingly the meaning also reveals. Ayurveda people also look at the Yajurveda mantras and all other so you get that kind of significance and all that. So the dictionary meaning rather, because Pratipadartha will not completely tell you the value and significance. Therefore, you have to do it. So now any yajna performed is primarily intended for the gods. So gods are known for Mahima. What is that Mahima? They have powers of tolerance. They have the power, most important, to share their power for the benefit of the bhaktas. Therefore, see, for example, Lalita Sahasranam, Bhaktamanasa Hamsikayai Namo Namaha. And so Bhaktara Manasali Hamsika andre female swan. And again, Munivanasa Sancharanye Namaha. So the and Hamsa is one. That's why when you do Mahanyasam, because we still have the spell of Sivaratri Mahotsava, Chaturdasi, our calendar in WhatsApp people, but Chaturdasi and Amavasya, both are, so these are the ultimate days which Lord Rudra or Shiva was expecting. There are all the 12 months we have got Ratris. You are free to sleep anytime you want and you can be very free with all the Ratris. But we have the Sivaratri where you have got to observe some discipline, and that's why Sivaratri. And again we have got the Sivaratri is being a preparation right from the Sankuratri, that is called Sankramana. So when Uttarayanam begins, that is Sankramanam, when sun enters into the from Dhanus Rasi to Makar Rasi, Makar Sankranti, so many changes happen not only in the atmosphere, also in the human life. Actually, astrologers will say, ಸರ್ ಸಂಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ನೀವೇ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಏನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ದೇ ಕೀಪ್ ದಿ ಸಂಕ್ರಾಂತಿ ಆಸ್ ದಿ ಎಪೋಕ್. And also sometimes people say ರಥಸಪ್ತಮಿ ಆಗೋಗ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಕೆಲವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಶಿವರಾತ್ರಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ದಿ ಅಸ್ಟ್ರಾಲಜರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಆನ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಡೇಟ್ಸ್ for any desire fulfillment or any achievement that you want to have. So after Sivaratri, the effects are different. And Uttarayana Punya Kalam, they call it. So when sun gallops after the Saptami, direction changes towards the north, he will pick up heat, velocity or speed and all that and give you lot of energy. People are very happy during the summer time. So anyway, here, Adade Grava Asya Adhvara Krutu. So what is that high importance of Grava? It is the main thing that will cause the yajna to start and proceed and bring all kind of happiness and prosperity. Therefore, it is said Adhvara Krutu. Adhvara is the yajna. Adhva andre marga. So Adhvara Kruta andre, spiritual pathway is being laid out through the yajna. That's why even the Parjanyas are also Parjanya Yajna Samudbhavaha. Parjanyo Varshati Parjanyena Parjanya Annat Purushaha Sava Esha Purusha Vidha Eva. So when you go to Upanishads, you see that all Upanishads are commentaries to our Vedic mantras. They bring out Mahanarayana Upanishad is top, where you get so much of Vedic sense being Vedic wisdom and Vedic applications brought forth for the convenience of the all people. Desk it is working on. So grava asya adhvara krutu. Why are you holding that gravas? Because it is one who will inaugurate the performance of yajna. Actually, as such, yajna is a spiritual pathway, and spiritual heights you can reach it, and ultimately you go to Brahma. That's why it say in our Peppalat Maharshi says Brahmanishtaha, Brahmaparaha, Brahmanveshinaha, Atmanveshinaha cha ye munayaha santi. So all munis or all people upon the land are engrossed in the activity of confining to Brahma. Whatever Brahma means, what? Whatever is noble, whatever is great, whatever you have got to achieve, whatever you have got to accomplish, all that is Brahma. That's why it's called Bruhat. So the Bruhat is Brahma. Yavai Bruhat, Savai Brahma. Yavai Bhuma, Savai Brahma. So you observe the Brahma Sabda has been defined in a number of words. So here the Yajurveda tells you it's a Adhvara Krutu Grava. And why are you doing it? Devebhyaha. All these gravas, I mean, all gods are being involved or invoked into this Deva, into the Yajna. And who are that? What is that Yajna going to be? Gambhiram imam adhvaram krudhi. So, ಈ ಅಧ್ವರ ಗಂಭೀರವಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Gambhira andre, it is a special Sanskrit term whose meaning is not definite at all. For example, when Valmiki Maharshi talking about Rama, he says, Samudra iva gambhirya dhairye cha himavaniva. So, when Valmiki Maharshi questions Narada, by that kon vasmin sampratam loke srutavan kascha viryavan dharmagnascha krutagnascha satyavakyo dudhavrata, etc. That's first chapter of Balakanda goes like that. Then Narada Maharshi describes, talking about Rama Bhagavan, saying, Sri Rama, saying that Samudraiva Gambhirye, in Gambhiratvam, hardly he exposes himself for advice. Gambhira andreno, sumne advice ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, free consultation. Actually, our Veda tells you, unless you are approached, ಶಿಷ್ಯಸ್ತೇಹಂ ಸಾಧಿಮಾಂ ಪ್ರಪನ್ನಂ, ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅರ್ಜುನ, in spite of all doubts and all that, ultimately realized Krishna is the right mentor and right guide at that juncture of war. ಸೊ ವಾರ್ ಕ್ರೈಸಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತಿರುವಾಗ ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ ವಾರ್ ಮೇಲೆ? ಸೊ ಶಿಷ್ಯಸ್ತೆ ಹಂಸಾಧಿಮಾಂ ಪ್ರಪನ್ನಂ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಆಲ್ ಭಗವದ್ಗೀತಾ ಫೋಟೋಗ್ರಾಫ್ಸ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು Krishna standing and Arjuna kneeling down before Krishna, saying that I am at your service, sir. I am yours obediently, Kama Arjuna, to appeal to Krishna Bhagavan. ಸೊ he says, ಗಂಭೀರಂ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಐಮಂ ಅಧ್ವರಂ ಗಂಭೀರಂ ಕೃಧಿ. ಈ ಗಂಭೀರ ಅನ್ನೋವಾಗ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಮೆಷರ್ ದಿ ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಓಷನ್ಸ್. See, it is hard to measure the depth of the ocean and heights of the mountains. Though there are some kind of approximate number has been provided, who knows what is what? People say that of all the oceans, Pacific Ocean is the Gambhira. It has got 14 miles water down. So 14 miles near ide andre, you can imagine how hard it is. But yargo to 14 miles or 40 miles, so we don't know. So to walk on the land 14 miles is nothing. But to go deeper into the waters is problem. Again into the heights also, to the space. To go in space also, such heights. So even mountains, there are mythical mountains which are being mentioned in our Veda. So Mujavato, so Namakam, Mujavato idhehi, Mujavan. Mujavat is a mountain wherein Rudras will live. So, and again, Mrugona Bhimaha, Kucharo Garishtaha. So, that kind of Bhimaha, Mrugaha, Narasimhaswami ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, is Kucharaha. Kucharaha ಅಂದರೆ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದಾನೆ. He is available for all people upon the land. Narasimha, 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 the very name take up. So, Gachan, Swapan, Tishtan, Bhunjan, Dhavan, whatever action in which you are engrossed, you keep on remembering the Narasimha, Narasimha. And ಆ ನರಸಿಂಹಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರ ಅರುದ್ರ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಯತ್ರ ಯತ್ರ ನರೋ ಗಚ್ಚತಿ ತತ್ರ ತತ್ರ ನರಸಿಂಹೋಪಿ ಗಚ್ಚತಿ. ವೆರೆವರ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೋಸ್, along with him as a shadow, Narasimhaswami also goes it. So this is a kind of promises given by Narasimha or the Munis and all the writers. Therefore, ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಗಂಭೀರಂ imam adhvaram krudhi aya krava, you make this sacrifice as deep as Gambhiram, as deep as the ocean or as high as the mountain or as high as the other lokas. So how high? Actually, we want to say, when you go and stand on the seashore, all the waves are coming only a furlong distance from. The origination of all the waves, I think Srinivas must tell me, Govind, all waves that are coming with a different height, only one furlong or around that distance. But when you go in a boat or a stream, cross that furlong distance, you are absolutely happy. So much beautiful, calm, pleasant, floating on the ocean. ಸೊ ಆ ವೇವ್ ಲೆಂತ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀವು ದಾಟೋದೇ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಅದು ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಧ್ವರಂ ಗಂಭೀರಂ ಕೃಧಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಓವರ್ ಉತ್ತಮೇನ ಪವಿನಾ. ಅಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಓವರ್ ದಿ ಸೋಮವಲ್ಲಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ಡ್. ಪವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈನರ್, something like we strain the tea. Whenever you make strain tea or sugarcane juice or anything like that, you try to strain away the other particles that are also mixed in that when you pound it, and you only extract mere juice. So a mere juice barbeku andre you have got to have the pavi. So pavina, in pavina. So look at this kind of vocabulary or the information that you have got if at all you want to inaugurate the yagnam. To inaugurate or to start the yagnam, you must have the grava, and you must intend it only to be used for adhvara, and that yagna also intended or directed towards the pleasing of the gods. And ultimately you have to make the yagna so perfect, so purnatvam, that it remains gambhiram. And ultimately all that soma rasa which was pressed out has got to be strained, and only the juice has got to be collected into the cauldrons, and that juice has got to be revered, and Soma Puja they have got to do it. And not simply the juice of the Somavalli, there are also other ingredients added to that, so that the Soma Rasa would be highly exhilarating drink. It is not exactly too much intoxicating, but whatever intoxicating elements are necessary, just they will add into that. And even goat milk also is being, I think, added into this. So not the cow's milk. Cow's milk status is different, but in the goat milk, in the sense that you observe yagna purusha is Agni, Narayana. So Agni Narayana Bhujam, you understand? Agni Narayana Bijam. When you in Lakunyasa or Mahanyasa, when you take that Bijam, the root, the syllable. So Agni Narayana Bijam and Agni Netraya Namaha Kala. That's why of all the 11 Anuvakas, this particular Anuvaka or mantra is very important. Namaste astu Bhagavan Vishveswaraya Mahadevaya Triyambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikagnikalaya Kalagnirudraya Neelakanthaya Mrutyunjayaya Sarveswaraya. Ultimately, Sada Sivaya Namaha. So Shiva, whatever other forms he has got, as are listed here, ultimately the Sada Shiva Tattva is supreme. In Saundarya Lahari, Shankaracharya points out only at the juncture of the pralayam, she cannot make all people merge out into the pralaya water, but she wants her husband only to be living and performing the Tandava. Tomorrow I have got the Tandava on Sunday. I am using Siva Tandava Stotram. We have been doing it. So that Dasagriva Geetam it is called as. So Siva Tandava Stotra, when he is doing Mahapralaya Sakshini, if at all she was to be a supervisor, even when the Mahapralaya is taking place, you know that workers, laborers are always cheating. They will say, you hold the wall, one brick wall, I'll go and get my coolie. Afterwards, if wall falls down, again we can get coolie. That's how the masons will be sometimes. That is not, so unless you are there sitting supervising, the workers don't be sincere in their assignments. Therefore, so this Ammavaru, Lalita Parameswari, Mahapralaya Sakshini, I am going to explain every Saturday morning for India and Friday evening. So I'm just only in the first chapter introduction to that. So when we embark upon the names one by one, each name is a history. Each name is highly significant, esoteric, talking about the greatness of Ammavaru. So here also you observe Pavina, and now who is the first god to whom all this kind of Soma Rasa has got to be started with? Inaugural cup ಯಾರು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Something like in the Rajasuya Yaga, there was a question, who should be the chief guest? So there are so many people who gathered the Rajasuya Yaga conducted by Dharmaraja, and Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, and all these great acharyas, ultimately they suggested Krishna to be the suitable person to be the chief person. But when the moment Krishna's name was taken, you know the story, Shishupala is the first rebellion. He rebelled and he chided Krishna. He chided Krishna in 1,100 words. That was the 100th mistake through because of which that Shishupala was done with. So with Chakra Sudarshana, Shishupala and Dantavaktra, they are the two fellows, Jaya Vijaya's avatars, Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and so Ravana and Kumbhakarna, Jaya Vijayas, and Prahlada, I mean the Hiranyakasipu and Hiranyaksha, Jaya Vijayas. So you imagine to put out these fellows, Mahavishnu has been in Sankatam and all that. Anyway, so you observe these Yajurveda mantras have got later on scope for explanation and development and commentary. That's why you cannot simply confine to one place and say that, oh, Yajurveda mantras have no merit. In fact, foreigners, internets, and some people said Yajurveda mantras have no much importance. They are the talk by a madman in imbecile and strife. No compliment there, because don't think that our foreigners have got very positive ideas to our mantras, but still Max Muller was one we have got to be remembered, although we have got criticism against him. When Thomas Alva Edison prepared gramophone where a scope was given to record human voice, then he invited Max Muller to register the human voice as a part of experiment on the gramophone, which should look like a furniture in the drawing hall. So furniture tarha merge among the furniture that is available there, this particular gramophone should also merge into that. So that kind of gramophone prepared, and look at, thanks to that Max Muller, he chose to recite the first Rigveda, first Mandala, first Sukta, and first mantra of that Agnimile Purohitam. That mantra was the first human voice recorded in the gramophone. So like that, here also, the first person to whom the first libation of Somarasa be offered to Indra, why that he has been made as the chief guest. Even in the Chamaka Adhyaya also, at Agnischama Indraschame Somaschama Indraschame Sabhita Chama Indraschame Pusha Chama Indras Saraswati Chama Indras, etc. There Indra. There are 27 deities, and 27 times Indra's name has been taken associating with each and every other deity. So that is the importance of Indra in our. In fact, Agni is important, and in the Agni and Indra are the most important deities in Rigveda and Yajurveda, and Prajapati is also important there. So thereby you observe, good God. So it's a wonderful mansion. Yajurveda mantras give room for beautiful mansion of knowledge connected to different aspects of human approaches. And again, now we come back to Somarasa. How is the Somarasa looking like? Somam 1, Sushutam 2, Madhubantam 3, Payasvantam 4, Vrishtivanim. So up to these four are trying to characterize the taste of Somarasam. It may not be as it is bitter actually, something like coffee decoction. So we all put milk and sugar and drink coffee. Oh, so nice our coffee is. Imagine the original decoction. There are people who drink only decoction. And that's why in some places they keep sugar, milk, biscuits, coffee decoction separately on the dining table. And it is our choice to mix according to our portions. But basically, coffee decoction is bitter. So, but that bitter Somavalli juice is being added with these ingredients primarily when it is going to be offered uh, to offer to gods, beginning from that. So, Sushutam, well pressed, Madhubantam, sweet, Payaswantam, liquid form, Vrishtivani, it will just fulfill the fulfillment of all sorts of desires. So Soma is so there are so many books written on Soma itself. Das Soma in German, in France, in French language, in English language. When I was reading research in my Yajurveda, I had the opportunity of at least having darshan and perusing such books from our library of Center for Advanced Studies in Sanskrit, specialized only for Veda and grammar research and studies and all that. Anyway, I think I have crossed the time and we'll continue next in our next. So you observe Yajurveda is highly sapful, highly inspiring, highly knowledge providing, and it's a resourceful situation. Next, we'll talk about Indra and why Indra is chosen. You must also describe the qualification, desirability, achievement, accomplishments, etc., that will make him really eligible to receive the first cup of the Soma juice. Is it not? Amma ರೆಡಿ చేయాలంటుంది ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಪ್ ಆಫ್ ಸೋಮಾ ಜ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯಾರು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಪ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ದೋಸೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದೋಸೆ ಟು ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್. ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿರುವಾಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದೋಸೆ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದೋಸೆ ಟು ಬಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಟು ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸಂತಾನ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ದೋಸೆ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಎನಿವೆ, ಸೊ with these viewers, I am thankful to those people who are inspiring me to get on into these things. I stop here. Om Swasti.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu, Shri Vasudevarpanamastu, Shri Veda Purusha Ashirvadostu. Om Shri Matru Charanaravindarpanamastu. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Namaste.
So, any comments on this? Beautiful.
ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಗುರುಗಳೇ. ಇದು ಇವತ್ತು ಸೌಂದರ್ಯಲಹರಿ ಹೋಮ ಬಂದ್ ಪೂಜಾರರು ಮತ್ತೆ ವಾಸನ್ ಗುರುಜಿ ಬಂದ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಟ್ರು.
Very good.
ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಫೋಟೋ ಕಳ್ಸಿದೀವಿ ಗುರುಗಳೇ. ವಾಸನ್ ಗುರುಜಿನಿ ಇದಾರೆ ಗುರು.
Very nice that we have done the Saundarya. Ammavaru, monthly once she will come and state himself who has come down to give. That's why only Saundarya Lahari slokas are meant for Yajus, not any other stotra books. And Durga Samhita. So,